For the big money and the big names in motor racing, we fly north to Auckland, our largest city. Here in January each year is run the New Zealand International Grand Prix, an event which brings drivers from Britain, the United States, Sweden, the continent and Australia into competition against the New Zealanders.
One of the things that was special every Christmas was, I don't know how it started in the first place, but the NZIGP, the New Zealand Grand Prix, was Ron Frost, Eric Mallard. They must have found out that Steve was keen and he had garage space. So Garth Hogan's dad, Ron Hogan, used to tow around the Formula One cars of the time. So we'd see a big truck come around with a couple of Formula One Lolas or Coopers every Christmas, and the internationals would arrive and we would garage them in our workshop, or at Dad's workshop, and I would, be the kid that was just sniffing and watching.
At the wheel of his Lotus is England's Roy Salvadori, watched by Bonnier of Sweden and Sterling Moss. Number 4, a Cooper, is driven by the world's champion driver, Jack Brabham.
That was a neat period as I look back, and I remember one driver called Roy Salvadori, and he arrived and he came round to the garage. I remember two things I remember out of that. They were going to get this Kiwi, Denny Hume, to drive in one of the spare cars, and Denny came round to have a sort of a fitting, and he was in bare feet, and big feet too. And Salvadori obviously looked and thought, what on earth is this poor chap? Is he a bit short of money? And he just didn't know Kiwis.
In his Cooper Climax, winner Dennis Hume rolls over the finish line. He collects £150, the Festival Cup and a glass of champagne, all of which makes a good finish to a good day's racing.
And so Salvadori had arrived in the country, came to the garage and saw everything was right, and he said, where can I get some money? And so someone said, well, the bank's just along the road, in K Road. Oh, how do I get down there? And I said, I'll take you. So I was fresh up, I was 15. I'd had a license about a week. So off we go, my 3 on the floor, Ford Prefect, and Salvadori gets in the passenger seat, and I'm so nervous driving this Formula One driver down the road. And we get down to the Bank in New Zealand down in K Road, and I was obviously a bit shell-shocked. And I bumped into the car in front as I was parking, and they've got, the old girls had spring steel bumpers in those days. And so the car in front fortunately had one. So I remember banging into it and bouncing off it, which he thought was pretty fun. And so I drove my first Formula One driver around at age 15. I was pretty proud when I came back.